Hey guys, welcome to another episode on channel. Not what we're used to, but it's a Los Angeles Museum walking tour of the USS Iowa Battleship 61. And this is going to feature myself and my son in a few pictures, but mostly it's just going to be this amazing, beautiful ship. Just a little bit of information on this ship as we go through some of the pictures. I'm not going to do a whole lot of historical data. This is a massive warship. You can see it has 16-inch guns there. There's my son standing right next to a gun, so you can see how big it is. It would shoot shells that was the size or the weight of a Volkswagen bus. Amazing. Here's the chains that are going to drop the anchors at front. Each of those links on that chain weigh over almost 200 pounds. Here's the shells it shoots, different types of shells. For us tankers, that's kind of interesting. Of the different types here, you could pause it and look at it, what we have. Here my son is standing next to a practice shell. Here's another, he was next to a dummy shell. This is a practice shell. This is another type of practice shell. Here's a picture of some stuff that they're talking about. If you want to read it, you can pause it and look at it. So this here is a practice shell, and it's lined up with the gunpowder bags. It actually takes six gunpowder bags behind it to fire the shell. And each one of those bags is about 18 inches long, 18 inches round, and it will fire that shell up to about 25 miles accurately. There are some more pictures of the second gun turret. Here's pictures of the wardroom on the main deck, which basically is the officers' mess. Here's some things dedicated to the people of Iowa who paid to have this thing turned into a museum. I just thought they deserve a little bit of respect and a little bit of picture in there. So here we're kind of looking at the officers' mess room. Here's where they're doing the dishes. The scullery, they called it. Here's a picture, as the window where I probably passed the dirty dishes in. Here's the different tables, and you see a bunch of pictures on this wall, on one of the tables, where they're showing classic pictures of the ship. Here's the where they're cooking all the food, and here I'm gonna start showing you some of the pictures. This is just an amazing walking battleship, dude. This is something that, if you get the chance to see one of these things, you should. They're not in the fleet anymore. They don't have battleships. The last one was the USS Missouri, which is part of the Iowa battleship line, and that was retired in 1992. And the other three battleships were retired in 1990. So we had four battleships in the Iowa line, and it was the Iowa, the Missouri, I want to say the New Jersey, and I know I'm messing it up. I'm sorry. This is not a historically accurate thing. I'm telling you the best information I have on it, and I'm sorry that this isn't better accurate, but I really want to show you just what we walk through and we're looking at. Here's a picture, and this map is about at least twice as big as the entire world. And it's showing all the areas that the battleship went through in its lifetime. And where my son was standing was the Pacific Theater, where all the fighting against in World War II went. There was a picture of the ship firing. Interesting thing on the firing part, where I know we're already past it. The flame from each of those guns as it fires shoots out about 300 feet, a football field, when it's firing. It's just amazing. So, here's just some different things we're looking at. This is looking through a porthole off a deck, and it's actually executive officer's room. And you're going to get a better look at this room in a minute, and we're going to go all the way around and go inside of it. Here's another officer's room. This is a ranking officer, but it's two people to a room, and this is actually pretty spacious. You'll see later on in the video, just kind of how bad the cruise areas were. They call them the berths. So here now we're in that executive officer's room. He's got a couch, a nice desk. He's got some nice pictures of the Iowa on the wall. A little trophy cabinet here. He's got it's not a good, that doorway to the left there, you can kind of see the bedroom. Here's the bedroom. This is a nice bed. He's got a little TV in there. He's got his own shower and bathroom. Just really, really nice. And here we're looking at another officer's room. This is a room that was dedicated to Captain Bell Jr., one of the former captains of the ship. Here we're looking at the officer's head, and so there was showers and bathrooms in there. That's where obviously the showers, the officers would get to use for the bathroom. This is a look down the hallway of the officers' quarters and the head. Here's looking through a porthole. But anyways, guys, feel free to pause and look at anything you're interested in here. I try and do plenty of pictures of everything. Here is another room to another officer, dedicated to another captain. So here we are up on the kind of the second level deck, looking at the gun. So this spot right here, in World War II, the Iowa was only hit by one shell, and it was hitting the number 2 turret, and that little white arrow points to where it hit, and you can kind of see the little scuff it did on the side of the armor of the turret. But that was all it did. It got hit by land artillery, I think the guy said. Number 2, turret 2 explosion. Not going to go too much into the history of this, but in 1989, there was a catastrophic failure inside of number 2 turret, and it blew up while firing, and it killed 47 sailors, and that was dedicated to those servicemen who gave their life in defense of our country while operating that turret. I'm not going to go into that because I don't know all the history on it. I know there was a lot of controversy over it. The Navy thought one thing, that it was a disgruntled homosexual officer that sabotaged the turret and blew up and killed himself and all of his friends. That was never proven, and even the FBI got involved and said, no, that's not it. There's no proof of this. There was thoughts of malfunction, but nothing could be proven, and really, it's kind of one of those mysteries of naval history. Here's the war room where decisions during a battle would be made. I don't know what happened there. So here we are on the bridge, and this is looking straight out the bridge towards the front of the ship, which is the bow. Here's a picture of myself with right behind me are the 5-inch guns. Here's my son, who is looking out through one of the things for spotting ships. Had pretty good zoom on that thing too. Even though it's just on the ship, you could pretty zoom that thing pretty good. This here is a side picture of the modern gun stuff that was installed to protect the ship versus incoming aircraft and incoming missiles and stuff. So here we are in another part of the bridge. Just here's some controls and stuff. So this is where they steer the ship. This is an armored enclosed area where they cannot, by the guy sitting in there controlling the ship, he doesn't have this window. He doesn't see out. He has little slits that he really can't look out. He's just this is the actual bridge where the people are able to take pictures and, just watch everything that's going on. But the armored bridge on the inside, it's armored so that if the bridge is hit by a shell, they can still steer and control the ship. I mean, all the commanders out here watching and making decisions might be dead, but they can still steer and operate the ship. Pretty interesting. And it's thick armor. I'm telling you, it's like at least a foot thick of armor in there. It's crazy. That was a floor thing. Here we're looking at the conning tower, which is just different things. We're looking at here's a control point for the Tomahawk cruise missiles it would fire. Here's some more pictures out across the guns, out across the water where it's berthed at. Here's a picture of the cruise missile defense system. Interestingly enough, now this thing is still in the water. So we did a tour of the USS Midway here in San Diego a while ago, and you can't feel the movement of the ship. You're on this battleship in the dock, and you actually feel it moving, swaying back and forth in the water. It's crazy. Here again is that gun from a closer view. Here's some other defense systems they have to defend against incoming missiles. Now, this isn't World War II era. This is stuff that was all installed in 1982 when it was brought up from mothballs, when President Reagan wanted to put the battleships back into full duty to modernize them and use them as a strong weapon in the Cold War against Russia to try and knock down the Iron Curtain, and that's exactly what happened. And after that was done, there wasn't much of a use for these battleships, and they all in turn were retired, unfortunately. Beautiful ships, and here are actually pictures. Those were where the Tomahawk cruise missiles would be launched from. So again, here's some more pictures of things of the Tomahawk cruise missile system. Here's where they would store the missiles until they would need to be installed into the tubes for launching when they would need them. Obviously, I don't think that could be a fast process, and they would probably preloaded and just waiting for commands to be fired. But pretty interesting things. I mean, these battleships were powerful. Here's actually a picture of a Tomahawk cruise missile. Obviously not a live one. Here's another one of the towers on a ship, and here's my son right next to a 5-inch gun. The 5-inch guns were used for closer range stuff and things like that. But here's a little bit of information about it. Here's a look inside of the control area of a 5-inch gun. You can't actually go in there. I just leaned in through the hatch and took some pictures, and pretty interesting. Here's a shell that's how they get loaded up in there, so you can grab them, load them, and fire. So now we're looking at the crew's berthing. They have 3 to a deck. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get a good enough picture you can read and talk about the berthing, but the bunk beds of 3, there's my son inside of one. So you see how small these are. These are an upgrade from after World War II. In World War II, they had, and that was a little picture of it, they had bunks stacked 5 high, and they were crazy. I mean, I've seen pictures of those. I've never seen a real one in life. But could you imagine having bunks 5 high and climbing into your bunk if you're on the 5th floor? Oh my gosh, that'd be awful. It'd be crazy. But they during World War II, they had almost twice as many people on this ship than they did in the 80s when they did it. They knocked the crew down to about 1,300 people, and in World War II, it was over 2,400. So here's some black and white pictures from the years over on the World War II. Here's from its Korean era when it was used during the Korean War. Here's a picture of a captured Japanese flag, and we're going to actually show you this flag, and that was off the dang it. Here's going to show me a picture. Here's the actual Japanese flag from the battleship Nagato. When World War II was ended, the battleship Nagamo was in dry docks in Japan, and it was damaged, wasn't able to get out there and fight, and so it was just placed there as a gun platform, really, for Japan to defend against incoming ships, and it was captured without firing a shot, and the crew of the Iowa was in charge of going on board and capturing that battleship. The battleship was later, if I'm right, was towed out to sea and scuttled so that nobody could have it and use it anymore. Unfortunate. They should have saved that as a museum. That would have been really cool. Anyways, just some more pictures of things that, from the history of the Iowa. Here we're looking at a menu, actual menu of of now we're in the regular enlisted crew things, and here's the picture of the kitchen, parts of the kitchen. Here's the line where they get in line to walk down and get their food. Here's some pictures of old vending machines. It's probably from the Korean era or something, but because I don't think vending machines were really around in World War II. But just some different pictures of things on Iowa. Here we're now on the other side. We get to walk through the kitchen area. Here's a bread maker. I thought Clymer might like pictures of the kitchen and stuff. You could see what being a chef on a Navy ship might be like. But just some different pictures of things to look at. Here's my son holding a whisk, and he made a funny joke there that I didn't get at first, and he had to explain it to me, and I was like, what a dipshit. But anyways, moving on, just looking at some more stuff here. That was actually the marine area where they would the marine station on board the ship would keep their weapons. I thought you'd like that. Here's some pictures of the line from the other side and some mannequins. And here's the actual kitchen. Clymer, this is where you'd be working. The galley. So the Navy term is the galley. And you can see they were in charge of making 7,000 meals a day. That's amazing. Just some different pictures of things. Here's a picture of the dining room for the crew from one angle. Here's another picture of it down the line the other direction. Just really a lot of neat stuff here. You got to really hand it to these guys that get out on these big ships like this, these aircraft carriers, battleships, destroyers, cruisers, everything we have in our Navy, because it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Floating cities, literally. So here's a picture. This is now the battleship Yamato as opposed to the Iowa. The Yamato was actually a little bit shorter, but the Yamato had 18-inch guns. So here we are on the back deck now. This is turret number 3. The third turret has 3 16-inch turrets. Just some different pictures back here of everything. So the Iowa, during World War II, it had little launch platforms for some float planes that would pick back up at the crane, put back on a ship. But in '82, when it was put out, it had this kind of a helicopter on there, and that's what I'm showing you pictures of. Here's another picture of a shell by the number 3 turret on the back. Just some more information, and this is it, guys. Hey, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned in a couple days. We're gonna have another special video for you. Thank you, guys. Bye.